He's back.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my friends, and welcome to the Good News Reporters Podcast with your host, Dr. Furman. He's still reading, studying, researching, and coming to you live straight from the number one book of all times, the best-selling book of all times, and at all times the number one book. Yes, the Bible. A spiritual book with physical stories, but still a spiritual book. Now, let us all welcome our modern day theologian, Dr. Furman Felder.
Greetings and grace be unto all of you with love, joy, peace, prosperity, and longevity from God our Father and from our Lord Jesus Christ. Yes, and welcome. I might be a couple minutes late, but welcome to the Good News Reporters Podcast. Yes, Dr. Furman. Hey, listen, hey, man, I was up there and I was wondering, what could I speak about? Because I've been searching for this anger. Remember I told you I was looking for anger because I've learned how to take that anger, that powerful emotional strength, that power of anger, and turn it into joy. And man, things been working out. Things been working out well with that. But years ago, I was thinking about years ago when I was in prison, and because I've been talking about stepdads, right? So recently, I'm gonna talk about stepdads and dads and and some of you brothers, some of you real brothers out there. But I'm saying that when I was in the prison house, and one day they had to take this old head. They had like different blocks. Like let's say old head was on D block, the old head block. And then they had all the YNs, or we used to call them young bucks, wow, and they had them like on H block. This is in Holmesburg prison. So one day the paperwork got mixed up, or somehow the young buck had to go in the cell with the old head. Old head settled in his ways. I guess he was about 60 or 70. And he got to do that time no matter what age. You got to do crime comes, time follows. But nevertheless, so they both in the cell. So, sometime when you put two people in the cell, or, even if you put two animals in the cell, they're going to fight and they want to dominate. If they can't get along, how they said years ago, they're going to get a fair one on. No, ain't nothing fair in prison. Wasn't nothing fair about them two when the young buck, he just kept picking on the old head and picking on the old head. Just, taking his goods, thinking the old head a little weak, joker. So one day the young boy went to sleep. Yeah, old head did it. He knocked him off. He killed that young brother. But the twist about the thing is that it was mistaken identity. Yeah, mistaken identity. Why I say mistaken identity? That this young buck get killed by the old head and giving his old head trouble? Because when they finally had to come in, the authorities, and investigate the whole thing, come to find out that young buck was the son to that old head. Yeah, I said that. Yeah. The old man who killed the young boy wound up killing his own son because they did not know one another. Separated from that prison time that the old head had been doing from time to time. It's not so funny when a mistaken identity. If he would have knew identity of the young buck, there wouldn't have been, it wasn't no mistake, but it wouldn't have been a mistaken identity. He would have been able to identify with the young man and wouldn't have killed him. And sometimes, you know, a lot of us, we go through the thing where we don't really know our own identity. Yeah. You know, even before I go into what we don't understand with our own identity, we mistake it sometimes. Sometimes we lie. That's not who we are. Sometimes we do things that some kind of behavior that we're not accustomed to. But that's who we are. Yes, a lot of bugs out here. But I'll put on some repellent today. I should be okay. I thank God for it. But listen, so now mistaken identity because we don't know who we are sometimes. Did God introduce you to yourself yet? Because we can't introduce ourselves to ourselves. We get it all messed up, misconstrued, and things of that nature. Look at some of the people. Some men think that they women. Some women think that they men. Yeah, that's mistaken identity. Of course it is. No, I ain't knocking what they do. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that's a form of some kind of mistaken identity. Some people, they dress up as cops. You know, some of the crazies on the road. Mistaken identity. You know, but one day in the prison house, my first day, as a matter of fact, when they told me I had to go into, let's say, cell number 14. Now, this is about 6 o'clock in the evening. So lockdown was close. You know, you get locked down at 9 o'clock or something like that. I forgot the count time or whatever, 9 or 10, something like that in the evening. So when it came down to the guard, I went to, let's say, Officer Smith. And Officer Smith said, well, go down to cell 14, man. That's where you're assigned at. I said, okay. You know, he was a black brother. And so, you know, spoke respectfully. So, you know, just go along with what's happening. So when I went down to the cell, I heard this voice say, Negro. Man, if you come in this cell, I'm going to kill you. Your time, this is your death sentence. Whatever he was rolling out his mouth, everything was talking about him killing me.
We'll be right back with the Good News Reporter.
I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. And the life I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me.
So I went back down in a hurry. I went back down to the guard. I don't know what's up in that cell. I don't know who he is, how big he is, or what. I know one thing: he had a spirit to kill. Something is biting me. He had a spirit to kill, right? So now, with this spirit to kill, so I went back to the guard, and the guard said, okay, what we'll do is we'll get you switched up, fellas, don't worry about it. So one of the guy who wanted to have the spirit to kill, one of his young bucks said, I'll go in the cell with him, put Felder in my cell. So, okay, that worked out well. So later on, you know, time went by. You know, I'm in the band, directing the band and stuff like that too. A month or so passed by. And then there was you know, there's always this weird sound when some kind of alarm go off when there's some kind of stabbing or killing or somebody hurt or need to be rushed to the hospital and everybody got to be locked down in a hurry. So all of a sudden now I'm walking off the block with my guitar so I can do some recruiting. My guitar was like a pass for me to get around the prison. So I wanted to do some recruiting of some singers and musicians. So, you know, that guitar gave me some, you know, some jailhouse power for the most part, with the administration as well. But now, uh, I'm going out the gate. Now, inside this gate, it's like a box. It's two gates, one gate going out to the center where all the officers are at and we're controlling how they, you know, maintain things. And the other gate leading to the block that I was on. You know, I was on a mental health block, but it was also the block where the musicians they worked. So I was there for two reasons. But nevertheless, nevertheless, uh, I was in trapped because the alarm went off and I'm trapped in this box. There's two gates and nobody can move. And then all of a sudden you hear, you had these orderlies or the guys who rush these dead bodies or pre-dead bodies or stabbed up bodies or whatever kind of body. They got to get to the hospital, which is on C Block where I was standing. So now I'm trapped in between these two bars. And they got to bring that body through where I was standing. Well, when they open up one gate, they bring the body in, but they can't open up the second gate until the first gate is closed. So now I'm standing there with a body that's taking a couple more breaths. Man, he was 2 steps away from the grave. But then he took that big old breath, flapped. And I said, wow, I watched that man die before my eyes. The thing about it is, yeah, he died. Never seen it before. I never seen nobody take their last breath, but I seen it in prison. So now, after all that goes on, and me seeing this, right? So now I'm looking at this. How angry did it make me? How did I feel? Did I grieve for that young man? Did I have any sympathy for that young man? What did I do? What did I do for that young man? I don't know, but I did something. The only thing I could do was pray for his family because his family was awaiting him. He was locked up for mistaken identity. You hear me? He was locked up for mistaken identity. And he was about to go home on that Monday, that Tuesday, or whatever day it was. He was about to go home. But someone took the time out, being evil, and stabbed him. And I'm saying, wow, they stabbed him right in his heart or somewhere near there, but his family had to deal with that, and then on top of that, the guy that wanted to kill me, had the spirit to kill, is the one who stabbed that young man. And then come to find out, he stabbed the wrong person, mistaken identity twice. The guy was locked up for mistaken identity, and then right before he go home, right before he goes home, mistaken identity. So now, this is what I'm saying is this. When I went into prison, I had so much anger. I had so much anger. Man, when I start seeing how evil and wicked and how mean and how devilish, and they were like demonized demons. Yeah, up in the prison house in Holmesburg Prison. But listen, I got to go. These bugs are getting to me. But listen, we're going to talk more about mistaken identity. Maybe I'll continue when I don't know. I don't know what God would have me to do. But make sure you know who you are. And the only way you can find out who you really are is you have to let God introduce you to you. No, you can say what you like. You don't really know you. Get with God. Hey, God bless you. Talk with you the next time. God bless you. Y'all enjoy now.
This is a Tam Firmables TV production.
And we're going beyond the norm.